Christmas!
And we at NEFL are glad to bring you an overview of our season so far and what to expect in the new year.
Alright, so far, we only have 5 games left in the regular season before our 3-game playoffs.
Yep.
If we look at the standings here, you see that Andy is in the lead, who is undefeated at 4-0. Second is Jovan Milkoop, who is 4-2.
Yep, he got to 4-2, notching an 18-7 victory today.
And Tyler, he's in third place,
Yep.
where he has a record of 2-1, but he has lots of games to come for him. And last place is Noah Peterson, who is fallen to 1-4. And may I remind you, there's a good reason for that.
Well, the thing with Noah is you know, some people are probably going to be quick to get on your back and be like, why is your record? Well, in Noah's defense, you know, all his games have been against me, Tyler, or Joe, and those are tough opponents to get wins against. So.
According to players such as Zach and Tony, who unfortunately will not be continuing the season at this time. As a producer and filmer of NEFL, I like to point out that the videos are coming your way, but I like to point out, if you watch the videos I posted so far, you must understand they are not as easy as you think they are. It takes me so long to make. It takes me several weeks and plenty of my free time just to put them together. But I guarantee you, I am really getting lots of work done.
Yep.
Like here's where I'm at right now. I'm currently almost done with the Joe and Zach game, and pretty soon I'm gonna get started on me and Tyler from week 2. And I promise you, once we get after me and Tyler, the really interesting games will finally start be showing up, which is I'm very looking forward to having on there.
Those are going to be awesome, and you know,
it's good. Despite everything that's happened this season, we've had a pretty good season, especially our last 5 games have been like right on the brink.
Yep, and even today's game was another good one that's going to go down into history. This was the first one since
November 8th. You mean the last NEFL game?
Well, this is the first. Well, yeah, that was the last game, but this is the first time that it was more than one touchdown separation, right? Like, because all the games were so close, they were like 5 points or less.
This was the first game since me and Tyler
that was not within one touchdown. Wow. So yeah, Joe made a statement today by beating Noah by more than 10 points. So.
Further note, if you look at the rivalry chart right here, it's been every season.
Oh,
and may I point out some really interesting things about this game? It is the lowest combined score in the history of the rivalry.
It sure is.
And it's continuing to go through the every other phase. So you never had a 2 in a row phase.
Yeah.
And it's this is also Joe's first ever clean win against Noah, since Noah had his in 2017. Since everyone has been very close.
Oh, yep, where he kind of got away from you out there. Yep, that fourth quarter was so dominant by Joe offensively and defensively. Let's talk about, I think, an overview, or we're looking at the past. Let's each rank our top 3 games of the season so far and which game out of the remaining 5 we're looking forward to most. So I will allow you to start with your top 3.
Alright, now this is a hard decision, for I believe my top 3 that I have seen is definitely 1 is Andy and Joe. Now what's interesting, that is one game you've seen for years, because these two are if you don't know this, these are the oldest rivals in NEFL's history. Yep. And these two have always been kind of back and forth, but lately you've been seeing Andy's been kind of getting clean away. But this game was so interesting because Joe, he was actually leading most of the time. This was the first time you can actually see Andy actually scared that he was going to lose, which is, we never have that on film record.
Yep. And then it's kind of funny how, the next game I played also was very close.
Yes.
But yeah, so there's some other ones. That, I agree, that one was great.
Another good one I thought was really interesting to watch was the me and Joe from my birthday on June 30th, which was a really good game. What was crazy about that game? It was 88 degrees out, and it was the first game at a brand new location in Bobblehead Stadium in Middleville, Michigan.
That was awesome.
Now, what was cool about that is that we it was like really close all the way. Like if you watch the first quarter, our defense was like playing terrible. Like we were scoring like every like possession. Yeah. And now like it came to the end. Like I had a good lead and he was slowly catching up. I managed to keep it in there. And what was even more significant, that broke my nearly 3-year losing record, which I believe was about 11 games.
Yeah, that was a big win streak. He hadn't won since 17, and that was huge to finally get you in the.
If you look at my record, my record here, it is extremely bad, and the main reason is because I spend most of the time playing this guy.
Yep. And you were saying as the producer and stuff earlier, I'd like to say as the league manager, and founder, Joe and I, we founded this when we first played each other back in the day, and then I took it another step ahead. I'd like to say, when I decided, because, I used to make the videos myself, but managing everything, and I didn't have the right software and stuff, it got hard. So having Noah do this the past 4, almost 5 years, has been really good because, it allows me to kind of do my job and get everything scheduled, and then Noah can go and put these beautiful videos out. So good job on that.
You can see there's been a huge difference between the Sun Bowl of 2016 to present 2020 season.
Yep. So that they don't forget, you said me and Joe, and then you and Noah, you and Joe at Bob White. Yep. What's your other one?
All right. While I like me and Noah from
you and Joe
from Bob White a couple weeks ago, the one I have to go with also is Tyler and Joe. Now, what was interesting game? That was actually on record the first overtime game since 2016, right?
17, January of 17,
yes.
And only the second ever. And Joe was in both and won both.
And what was cool about that game is we kind of had there was something going on. We had to delay that game because of we had the participant having a hard time getting over on time. But luckily we managed to get the game in. What was cool about that is Tyler was kind of ahead most of the time, but in the very end, Joe managed to really catch up. And it really came down to the end. It was the first time we went to overtime in several years. It was even more crazy. Tyler was starting to really having some kind of injury. I think it was a leg injury.
Yeah, towards the end of the game.
Yep, and then that was the first time I've seen him lose, to be honest, in person. I will say that, but that was really intense to watch, and you could definitely tell you were just over-amazed and just overwhelmed on how it ended up becoming one of those games.
A lot of people too, they doubt Joe because, for a while it's oh, Joe's got talent, but he's a little inconsistent. He plays great one day, kind of plays like crap the next. That win against Tyler and just Joe's overall flow of the season has been so much different. He hasn't been oh, he shows up and plays great one day, then terrible the next. No, he showed up and played great every game this year. Every single game, even the ones he lost, were super close. So, it's a different Joe. It ain't the same old Joe, and he's been winning, and he's making a push. So.
One thing I'd like to point out, we've been seeing a lot more of him than we have in the last 2 years.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yep. We can talk to more about that another time, but before I announce my upcoming game that's gonna be happening, I'd like to bring up Andy's favorite games from this season so far.
Yeah.
Alright.
Mine are gonna be pretty similar. Except I might have to do an honorable mention. My honorable mention would probably be the Noah and Joe at Bob White. That one was really good. What I'm going to pick, because I just thought this game was great, was me versus Noah the second time at Bob White Stadium. This one was crazy, and Noah really had me on my heels for the first time. We had the one close game in 2018, but this was one when Noah really had the lead and actually, really made me fight for it. And this game was just a thriller. We had the fumble. We had a lot of those crazy plays. We had the 25-yard runs from each of us, and then we had
Not to mention him taking out one of the camera stands in our light sources. So that was pretty interesting. Which I currently am still trying to fix, so he can really take something out.
And then Noah went for the Hail Mary, which thankfully I successfully defended. But so that was an amazing game. My other one is probably going to have to be Joe and Tyler because, yep, big comeback by Joe. Joe showed that, this ain't the same old Joe. He ain't going to just lay down and die. He's going to keep fighting until the clocks hit triple zeros, which is great to see. And he came back in overtime and won that one. Great game by both guys. I hope Tyler didn't take the loss too hard because it was a spectacle. Number one, I'd have to say, me versus Joe. I mean, that game was just, I started off on top big. Joe came back. There were just so many amazing close plays, and it was one of the thrillers. And not only that, but it just, it proved to me, too. It's like you can have your back against the wall and fight and come out on top.
Never in any game have I seen you, actually worried about losing. And I could tell, right at the end, you were, hurrying up with the clock. You're like, hurry up, because you really were scared that you were going to run out of time and lose this game. You were, freaking out.
I tried not to freak out. I just tried to calmly, okay, yep, I'm nervous, but,
Yep.
That sort of thing. All right, would you like to mention which one you're looking forward to?
All right, so, as we had said before, there are only 5 games left in the regular season, and you can probably tell the majority of them are, of course, Tyler, because he have had a kind of off record with keeping track on when we need him to play and all that, but really, we're all in the playoffs, so that's all good. And if we look at the standings right now, basically what I'm seeing is me, Noah, and Andy will be one game in the playoffs, and the other game will be Tony, Tyler, and Joe, which are all very interesting games so far, which is so good about this season so far. Now, the game I'm mostly looking forward to is, while I'm excited for you and Tyler, since I've never seen you two play each other, and you have to play each other twice, you and Joe is something I am desperately looking forward to see again. Despite how close it was last game, I'm so curious in how it's going to end up, because every game in the last couple of years has been it's been getting closer and closer, and this one, it was interesting, and who knows what this one will bring. You might give him a wipeout, he might beat you nearly, or we could possibly get another overtime. It's extremely, sometimes unpredictable, really.
Oh, yeah. I really look forward. That one's probably on the top of my list, is the me versus Joe second time. Me versus Tyler is going to be interesting, and also Joe versus Tyler. I'm excited to see what the rematch brings for those guys. I wonder if Joe's theory of the winter weather helping him out against Tyler.
For me and Tyler, he kind of beat me bad last time we played, but I'm hoping I can kind of take advantage of the cold weather we have outside, and I just way to good. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what we have so far, but we like to point out that we are really glad for those who've been watching this season.
Absolutely.
For we may not be the most popular, recognized one regard to views and subscribers. We like to point out and thank you, all of you. We'd like to let you know that we are working super hard. And maybe tell your friends and others that we just love this league and we just hope to bring more years to come.
Yep, we love this league. We love this sport. It's never been around about any notoriety or getting, it's just we love doing it, and we're going to do it whether nobody's watching or whether thousands of people are watching. It doesn't matter. We're going to be here doing what we do, so we're glad for you
and
guys.
Before we sign off, please remember to subscribe to our channels and follow our pages here, both on Instagram and Facebook. May you all have a Merry Christmas and
Merry Christmas
and a Happy New Year.
And a very Happy New Year. Merry Christmas from NEFL. Thank you all, and good night, everyone. Since he won today, I figured I'd do his signature. Good night, everybody.